Now we're on board Southwest Securities, and we might catch a little bit of their conversation as we're
Hey
into the intercom.
kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like. Find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.
We're on board now, 7 up the Angola, as we head towards the starting lineup. Very shortly we'll go on Southwest Securities and listen to their conversation in just a few moments.
They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing.
How you doing over there, Roger? All right. Roger, watch that boat to my right. We're doing fine. All right. Now we're running almost 80 on the Speedo. How fast are we going right now? 80 miles an hour. Okay. We're still under yellow. Yeah. We're down to about 72.
On board Southwest Securities with No Mercy and Cutting Edge on the side of Southwest Securities. All right, we're on board Mr. K, Frank's Marine with Intense Marine there alongside Mr. K. Intense Marine, there you see our helicopter also in the distance. Because of the delay, the laps have been shortened. The A and S will be going 3 laps for 30 miles, C and B 5 laps for 50 miles. As we said, we've had a substantial delay because of some problems with the medical and safety crews. But we've got it all together now, and we're getting ready for the beginning of this 1995 Miami Offshore Grand Prix. Boats heading towards the start-finish line. All right, now as we see the boats heading towards the first turn in their parade lap, a beautiful display of boats here for the people along South Point Park and also South Beach watching the beginning of this race, this 1995 Miami Offshore Grand Prix, the 4th national race for APBA. It's also an Oprah Gold Cup Series race as well as a Southeast Divisional race. Great lineup here. We see Intense, Mr. K, Courageous Cat, Everglades Express, Locomotion, Harris Megabucks, Vision Video Bermuda, also Heartbeat and 7-Up, the Uncola. A great display, Offshore Powerboats here in South Beach, Florida. We're going through Government Cut, and as we said, Government Cut has been closed for the duration of this race. Unprecedented. Last time it happened here was in '86. Coast Guard says you can race. We'll close down the cut. It's a major shipping lane for cruise lines as well as all other kinds of shipping vessels here in the South Beach, Florida area. Getting ready now, going towards the first turn, after which point this race will begin. There is the pace boat there on the lower side of the picture. Getting the boats lined up for the beginning of this race, all waiting for the green flag. A beautiful display of horsepower here in South Beach, Florida. Some other boats now coming into the picture include Finley Racing, Triton, and Outcast. Going around the turn now, getting very close. And there is Locomotion and Harris Megabucks now as we go around. Just moments away. 7-Up the Uncola there on the outside. Locomotion and Harris Megabucks. Waiting for the green. There you see the lineup. More boats now coming up. Getting ready. A beautiful picture here. Nearly 45 boats in all competing in this morning race. Of course, this is a two-race event. We also have an afternoon race. Here's the stock A, B, and C classes, and there is the lineup. Now all very close together, as you can see. Almost like a straight line. Anticipation here in South Beach, Florida. And we've got the green flag now. It's begun, the 1995 Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix in South Beach, Florida. Going to the immediate lead, it's Harris Megabucks, followed by Mobile One, Heartbeat, Mr. K, and 7-Up. Everyone off to a great start there. As you look downfield, all the competitors off to a great start here in this fourth national race for the APBA. Harris Megabucks, Mobile One, Heartbeat, Mr. K, 7-Up. And there are the leaders, Harris, Mobile One, and 7-Up. Right up there in front, very closely followed by the rest of the field. Harris, Mobile One, and 7-Up, your immediate leaders here in this Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. As we look downfield, it's Mr. K, Heartbeat, Toucan Power Play, and Finley Racing in B class. Great start here in South Beach. And they're the leaders, Harris, Mobile One, and 7-Up. There's Harris Megabucks and 7-Up, the Uncola machine. C1 Harris is a 34-foot Suffin powered by two 700-horsepower Innovation inboards with Mercruiser drives. It's an all-Atlantic City crew. The driver, Max Seelig, Throttleman Jason Seelig, navigator, Jeff Seelig. Harris Zuba, C1. As we look downfield, it's Mobile One, but we're going to go with the leaders, Harris Megabucks and 7-Up, the Uncola on the outside. Harris placed first at the Fort Myers Beach race, first in Sarasota, and is currently in first place in the APBA National Points for C class. Harris Megabucks. With 7-Up, the Uncola on the outside, the current leader here in S class in the early stages of this race. We can tell you that Harris Megabucks, the current leader in C class, has been one of the most consistent teams in racing circuit, having maintained their sponsors year after year by placing in the money each race. Their sponsors include Harris Casino and Sunoco Racing Fuels, and one of their newer sponsors, IGT Megabucks, the largest progressive slot machines in the world. In the Jacksonville race, they had the great football legend Joe Theismann as navigator for the boat, and he is currently the spokesperson for major companies as well as an announcer for ESPN. He said that racing the boat was the closest thing to being in the Super Bowl. Harris Megabucks, your current leader in C class. 7-Up, the Uncola on the outside, the current leader in S. Innovation inboards powering Harris Megabucks, a 34-foot Suffin. An unbelievable machine, 7-Up, the Uncola, your leader in S-Class right now. S7, a 28-foot Douglas skater, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. The driver, Richard Ginsburg from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Throttleman Don Smith from Fort Lauderdale as well. 7-Up, the Uncola, your 1994 world champion, 94 Rookie of the Year, also 94 Southeast Divisional champions. They took a first place earlier this year in Miami, SBR, a third in Key West, a first place in Fort Myers Beach, and a second in Sarasota. Currently, they are in second place in the APBA stock class standings, and also first in the Prop Series. 7-Up, the Uncola, currently number one in S class. 7-Up, the Uncola sponsors include 7-Up, the Uncola, 4Play Marine, Fujifilm, PCM Securities, and Campesano Insurance. Also, special thanks to Mobile Telecom Inc. out of Fort Lauderdale. Special thanks to Tom Sullivan, also Topia Custom Wall Units and Fine Woodworking out of Plantation, Florida. Special thanks to Tim for their 2-year commitment to Advanced Marketing Solutions, the owner of 7-Up, the Uncola machine, currently in first place in S class. Seven Up, the Uncola, 28-foot Douglas skater. Starting to head into Government Cut now. They've imposed a 60-mile-per-hour speed limit. It's radar enforced, and these boats, once they make the last turn out of Government Cut, they can go as fast as they want. Penalties will be assessed for any boats going over 60. Radar enforced. They were looking downfield. The B boats now are coming up. Toucan Racing, Finley Racing, Heartbeat, and Mr. K. They're coming up very quickly. All the B boats. Mr. K and Toucan, as we see them now coming up. They're identical to power plays. All the B boats. And there's Mr. K and Toucan Racing. Bow-to-bow racing here between Mr. K and Toucan. Great battle going on here in B class in the early stages of this race. Mr. K is a 33-foot power play powered by two 550 horsepower Frank Marine engines with Bravo drive. The driver, Rolando Garcia, he's from Hialeah, Florida. Throttle Pepe Ferreira from Miami. Navigator Carlos Gonzalez, he's also from Miami. Mr. K, Frank Marine B78, took a first place in Fort Pierce, a fourth in Fort Myers, a second in Sarasota, third in Jacksonville. Currently in first place in the Prop Series, first in the APBA national standings. Now a Toucan power play on the outside. We're starting to get into the speed zone in Government Cut. As we said, penalties will be assessed for boats going over 60 miles per hour, radar enforced. As we look forward, there's 7-Up the Uncola and Harris Megabooks on the outside. Now we're in Government Cut. Going back now to Mr. K and Toucan power play on the outside, we can tell you that Mr. K Offshore Racing, another competitive creation by Frank's Marine. Mr. K Frank's Marine finished in front of Heartbeat in Jacksonville, putting it in first place in the APBA national standings, as we said, as well as the Prop Series. Once again, 60 miles per hour is the speed limit here in Government Cut. It's radar enforced. There we're looking up ahead. We see 7-Up the Uncola and Harris Megabucks, followed by Mr. K, Frank Marine, and Toucan power play on the outside. Going through Government Cut now, going around the turn. Of course, once they're going out of here, they can go as fast as they want, but 60 miles per hour while they're in Government Cut. There we see now, we see 7-Up the Uncola, Harris Megabucks, and Mr. K. Mr. K in B class. Their sponsors include Marine Machine, also Vila & Son landscaping contractor, Torino Trailers, and Stainless Marine. Also special thanks to Frank's Marine for rigging and maintaining this brand new power play for the 1995 racing season. Mr. K, number 1 in B class, B78. On the outside is Harris Megabucks on the outside. Right now we're looking at Mr. K, first place in B class. Harris Megabucks, Mr. K. 7-Up the Uncola out front, your leader in S class and your overall leader. Of course, Harris in C. So it's 7-Up, Harris Megabucks, and Mr. K, your first 3 leaders here in this 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami. As we look downfield, we see more of the B boats coming up. It's Toucan, Finley Racing, and a Heartbeat coming up. These are the B boats as we look downfield. Toucan, Finley Racing, and a Heartbeat. We're going to go with Finley Racing, though. Finley Racing B31. Very slowly and surely moving into 4th place now as we have 7-Up Harris and Mr. K 1, 2, and 3. And now it's Finley Racing in 4th place, B31, with Toucan power play on the outside, B71. Now B31 Finley Racing is a 31-foot Scar powered by 2 600 horsepower Finley Racing engines with Mercruiser drives. Okay, aboard Finley Racing, we've got the driver is Doug Valentine from Sarasota, Florida. Paddleman Dave Travis from Bradenton, Florida. And navigator is John Kaplan. The owner, Mr. Calvin Finney from Jackson, Tennessee. On the outside, there's Toucan Racing in B class. A battle going on here between Finley Racing and Toucan Power Play on the outside. A great battle in B class. Finley Racing sponsors include Gill Marine, Autometer, Wellcraft, and the Bravo Shop. Toucan power play on the outside, now taking a slight lead over Finley Racing, B71. 31-foot Scarab. Finley Racing doing a fine job. Calvin Finney, Dave Travis, and Doug Valentine. Finley Racing has had some problems in previous races this year, but no problems right now. Finley Racing is smoking around the course, is on fire. B31, Finley Racing, 31-foot Scarab. Other B-boats include Miscalculations, Intense, Triton, Everglades Express, Heartbeat, and of course Toucan Power Play right now, which is on the outside. All right, now as we look around the turn, the leaders are 7 Up the Uncola, Mr. K, Harris Megabucks, Toucan Power Play, and Finney Racing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go with B-71 Toucan Power Play, a 33-foot power play powered by 2 600-horsepower MRD inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver, Mark Donato from West Newton, Massachusetts. Throwman Dan Weinstein from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And there they are, B-71 Toucan Power Play. They took a second place in Jacksonville earlier this year on their first race of the 1995 racing season. As we look back, there's Finney Racing coming up. Finney Racing trying to catch up to Toucan Power Play. Battle going on here in B class, B-71 Toucan Power Play. We'd like to thank MRD out of Eastern Long Island. Their sponsors include Newton Pontiac GMC Truck out of West Newton, Massachusetts. And we'd like to thank MRD for maintaining the boat there out on Eastern Long Island. Crew member Mike Castle, special thanks to him as well. We're watching right now Toucan Power Play B-71, but Finney right behind there catching up. Finney Racing in B class. Heartbeat right behind Finney Racing, so it's a real battle here between these 3 boats here in B class. Right now it's B-71 Toucan Power Play in 4th place. Little flying going on here, a little rock and rolling, but no problems whatsoever. There is Finney Racing on the outside. Battle in B class. Finney Racing and Toucan Power Play. Finney now slightly taking some of the lead. And going into 2nd place in B class. Right now, Mr. K is 1st in B. And Finney Racing 2nd. And there you see Toucan Power Play in 3rd place in B class. Nice jump there by the Toucan Power Play. A little crazy, but no problems. A little splash in our lens. In control. Right now, it's Toucan Power Play in 3rd place in B class. Mark Donato and Dan Weinstein aboard this 33-foot power play. MRD inboards, and there's Finney Racing. They're up ahead. Finney Racing in 2nd place in B. Mr. K in 1st in B class. Mr. K, Finney Racing and Toucan Power Play in a battle for B class. Looking downfield, we see Heartbeat in B. Heartbeat is a 33-foot fountain powered by 2 650-horsepower Troy Dennis inboards with Speedmaster drives. Now the owner of Heartbeat is Kurt Harbor from Seabrook, Texas. The driver today is Alan Borm, the throttleman Art Lilly, and navigator Lloyd Thornton. Now usually it's Rodney Riddell, Kurt Harbor, and Jack Carmody who run the Heartbeat, but they're running Carlos and Charlie's as well. And they're doing that this afternoon, so we got some replacement drivers and crew members here in Heartbeat for this morning's race. As we look upfield, it's Finney Racing and Toucan Power Play here in the early stages of this 1995 Miami Offshore Grand Prix. There's Heartbeat on the inside. Heartbeat B2, a 33-foot fountain. Now, Heartbeat is maintained by Art Lilly at Indian Point Landing Marina. Crew Chief Rodney Rudell. Heartbeat is currently in 2nd place in the APBA National Point Standings and 2nd in the Prop Series. Heartbeat would like to thank its sponsors, including Southwest Refractory of Texas, Carlos and Charlie's in Austin, Texas, the U.S. Arbor Financial Offices in Houston and Austin, Texas, and New York, Stephen Hessemiller also, and Vince Means, an additional sponsor for the Heartbeat Racing Team V2. Once again, aboard Heartbeat, we have Alan Borm, Art Lilly, and Lloyd Thornton. Owner Kurt Harbor from Seabrook, Texas. B2, the Heartbeat Racing Team. Heartbeat now going into Government Cut. There's Toucan Power Play. Finney Racing there on the inside. Toucan Power Play and Heartbeat on the outside. It's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in B class. We know that the drivers really don't like slowing down to 60 miles per hour as they're going into Government Cut, but that's the way the Coast Guard wanted it, so we could allow the boats to go through Government Cut and have the spectators watch this race. The speed limit, 60 miles per hour. Penalties will be assessed to those going over 60, of course, as they're going out and go as fast as they want. There is Heartbeat Racing Team 33-foot fountain. And as we look now into Government Cut, we see up ahead there is Mr. K. Mr. K, your leader in B class, going around the turn and going out of Government Cut. So it's Mr. K, Finney Racing, Toucan Power Play, and Heartbeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4 in B class. There's Harrah's Megabucks. Harrah's Megabucks in C class, going around the turn. We're going now out of Government Cut, and they can pick up their speed once again. No restrictions there. And there we see Harrah's Megabucks followed by Finney Racing and Heartbeat and Toucan Power Play. It seems that any distance that the boats have made up on the outside is greatly diminished going around into Government Cut there on the inside. So not something that the drivers probably are too happy about going into Government Cut with a reduced speed limit. Once again, there is Heartbeat. Heartbeat B2. Alan Borum, Art Lilly, and Lloyd Thornton aboard this 33-foot fountain. There's Harrah's and Finney up ahead. We're watching Heartbeat right now, B2. All right, we said we were going to do it, the start of the A-class boats, and there we are with our second helicopter. We've got 18 boats in all in A-class here in this start. And there, as we see some of the boats, we see Optical Illusion, Power Play, Hardcore, Pantera. The rest of them, Subluxator, Team Hogsbreath, Tina, Ballistic, Team Thoroughbred, Shogun, Dam Donzi, Team Intercoastal, Media Master. Of course, also Flashpoint, Christie's Photographics, Archer Marine, Frank's Marine, and Power Play. 18 boats in all in Offshore A, getting ready for the green flag. As we said, the substantial delay has resulted in the shortened of the laps, 3 laps in all, and we're going to have 30 miles total there, so it's going to be a drag race for these A boats down to the finish line. Waiting for the green flag here. We're going on board Frank's Marine. Frank's Marine with Richard Queso, Frank Iroa, and Luis Gutierrez. Luis, of course, doing a great job in getting this event together, this 1995 Offshore Grand Prix here in Miami, Florida. Frank's Marine, A78. Getting ready, waiting for the green flag here for the A start. Brought to you by our second freeze frame video helicopter. Here's our onboard camera. 4 onboards in this morning's race. And there we see Optical Illusion, Power Play, Hardcore, and Pantera. Both now getting closer together, getting ready. We also have Flashpoint, Scatterbrain, Team Intercoastal, and a number of other competitors on the outside as we now leave Government Cut going around the first turn, and they will not get the green flag until after the first turn. Leaving Government Cut now, which of course has been closed for this race. First time since 1986. And there we see Hogsbreath, Team Thoroughbred, and Shogun coming up quickly. A few moments away from the green flag now. There's the pace boat up ahead. Going around the first turn. As we said, there are 18 boats in all in Offshore A today. Highly competitive class, and that's why Freeze Frame Video Productions has a second helicopter in the air today to cover this highly competitive A class, and we'll be doing that for the rest of the 1995 racing season. It's going to be a drag race today, especially because the laps have been shortened to 30 miles overall, so very fast and competitive race in Offshore A as we see the pace boat there lining up the boats and more of the boats getting into the lineup. We'd like to give a special thanks to Gary and Nancy Johnson, also Mike Warner from Pittman Photo for helping us out today with the second helicopter. And now we see the boats lining up, getting into a straight line pretty much. There we see the yellow flag, and now the green flag has gone up, and the A start has begun here at the 1995 Miami Offshore Grand Prix. The lineup: Scatterbrain, Optical Illusion, Flashpoint, Hogsbreath, Power Play, Tina, Hardcore, Subluxator, Team Intercoastal, Frank's Marine, and Arch Marine Special. That's the lineup. Going to the immediate lead, though, is Hogsbreath, Subluxator, Pantera, Power Play, and Scatterbrain. The A start of the 1995 Offshore Miami Grand Prix. Hogsbreath and Subluxator in the lead. Followed closely by Pantera, Power Play, Scatterbrain, Hardcore, with Frank's Marine coming up quickly. On the inside, it's Flashpoint, A10. Flashpoint is a 26-foot Corsa powered by one 600-horsepower Blue Thunder engine with a Mercruiser drive. The driver, Kevin Politi from Fort Lauderdale. Throttle Gary Etheridge. Navigator, Robert Stepano. They're all from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We've got Scatterbrain, Pantera, Frank's Marine, and Arch Marine on the outside, but it's Flashpoint 810 on the inside. Flashpoint. Now, the Flashpoint Racing team would like to thank their sponsors, including Webb Mortgage Corporation out of Boca Raton, Florida, Blue Thunder Engines out of Hollywood, Florida, Speed and Truck World out of Fort Lauderdale, Frank and Jimmy's Propeller Shop in Fort Lauderdale, and Action Sports Cycles in Fort Lauderdale, introducing the new Triumph motorcycles. The team helps to raise money for the University of Miami Jackson Memorial Burn Center by selling T-shirts, raffles, and donating a portion of their prize money. You're watching right now Flashpoint 810. Kevin, Gary, and Robert doing a fine job aboard this 26-foot Corsa. As we said, Flashpoint is a 26-foot Corsa. The Corsa hull is a great hull for A-Class. Earlier this year in Sarasota, it was Hog's Breath, Subluxator, and Hardcore. They're all Corsas coming in first, second, and third in Sarasota. 810 Flashpoint. 18 boats in all in A-Class, highly competitive. Unbelievable battle shaping up here as we go around the second turn. We've got Hog's Breath, Subluxator, Hardcore, Scatterbrain, and Pantera. Great competition in A-Class. And there we have Hardcore, Frank's Marine, and Scatterbrain. Great competition here in A-Class, 18 boats in all. There's Frank's Marine Hooligans in the middle on the inside, 810 Flashpoint. There's Hardcore as Frank's Marine Hooligan takes position away from Scatterbrain. Frank's Marine Hooligan now picking up some room. Frank's Marine Hooligan coming up on Hardcore as it passes Scatterbrain on the outside. Frank's Marine Hooligan. Frank's now coming up on Hardcore on the outside with Pantera in front of him. Frank's Marine Hooligan, a 24-foot Scorpion powered by one 600-horsepower Frank's Racing inboard with a Mercruiser drive. Driver, Richard Queso from Miami, Florida. Throttleman, Frank Iroa. Navigator, Luis Gutierrez. They're all from Miami, Florida. Frank's Marine Hooligan, A78. Took a first place in St. Cloud, a fourth in Sarasota, and a third in Jacksonville earlier this year. Currently, they are third in the APBA National Point Standings in A-Class, third in the Prop Series. Pantera Racing on the outside. Now, Frank's Marine Hooligan has a number of great accomplishments in 92, 93, 94. Your APBA World Cup champions, 92, 93 APBA National Champions, and 92, 93 APBA Hall of Champions. Now, sponsors include Militech Synthetic Metal Conditioner, Vila and Son Landscaping, Hooligan's Pub and Oyster Bar, Web on Trailers by Torino Trailers, and Reprographia Blueprinting and Computer Graphics. Now, all of these sponsors are also proud sponsors of this 1995 Offshore Grand Prix here in Miami. We're aboard now, Frank Marine, as you can see, with the crew members. Without these sponsors, well, this race may not have happened here in Miami. As you can see, we're on board Frank's Marine Hooligan. We briefly saw a shot of our helicopter. Biscayne Helicopters, John Marks, our pilot. And there's the helicopter in the background with Richard Queso, Frank Iroa, and Luis Gutierrez aboard this 24-foot Scorpion. Our other helicopter company, Kilpatrick Helicopters, with Russell Kilpatrick, our other pilot, covering the other start here in this morning race of this 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami, presented by Cutting Edge Sports Marketing. Frank's Marine. Once again, the sponsors for Frank's Marine Hooligan include Militech Synthetic Metal Conditioner, Vila and Son Landscaping, Hooligan's Pub and Oyster Bar, Web on Trailers by Torino Trailers, and Reprographia Blueprinting and Computer Graphics. Frank Iroa aboard Frank's Marine also maintains Mr. K, who is, we believe, leading in B-Class right now. Mr. K. Right now, it's Frank's Marine Hooligan, A78. Rich Queso, the driver. Frank is the throttle man, and Luis Gutierrez, navigator. Pantera Racing on the outside. Fourth national race for the APBA here in South Beach, Florida. And Freeze Frame Video Productions would certainly like to say that it's proud to be part of this event. Freeze Frame is providing all the onboard as well as aerial footage to the television production of this race here in South Beach. And a big part of this event, Luis Gutierrez. Freeze Frame Video would like to give special thanks to Luis for helping to orchestrate a fine event here in South Beach. Luis Gutierrez, the navigator aboard Frank's Marine Hooligan, A78. Beautiful weather and fairly calm waters, as you can see here in South Beach. Age 67 Pantera Racing, a 28-foot Pantera powered by one 700-horsepower progressive inboard with a Mercruiser drive. The driver, Joe Ferrer from North Miami, Florida. Throttleman, Joe Nunez, also from North Miami. Navigator, George Carminati. Pantera Racing, age 67. Lots of great competition in Offshore A. Some of them include Team Thoroughbred, Ballistic, Tina, Dan Donzi, Shogun, Optical Illusion, Scatterbrain, Flashpoint, Hardcore, Christie's Photographics, Subluxator, and many, many more. 18 competitors in Offshore A in all. Highly competitive class. Right now we're watching A67 Pantera Racing. Joe Ferrer, Joe Nunez, and George Carminati. This is the 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami, presented by Cutting Edge Sports Marketing. There you see other boats going around the turn. This is a brand new boat put into the water, and it's running excellent. Pantera Racing, 28-foot Pantera. Crew members looking comfortable. Powered by one 700-horsepower progressive inboard with a Mercruiser drive. There you see some of the skyline there of Miami Beach. As we go into the speed zone, now we're going to go with Team Thoroughbred, 827, a 26-foot Thoroughbred powered by one exact performance engine, 720 horsepowers. Team Thoroughbred aboard. The driver is Scott Lee, throttleman Bob Bull. They're both from Cocoa, Florida. Team Thoroughbred, A27. Took a fourth place earlier this year in St. Cloud. Now, Bob Bull would like to thank his beautiful wife, Debbie, for all of her support and company in supplying the intercoms. Also, thanks to Scott Lee for an excellent job in driving, and thanks to Kathy Lee for her support and help. Also, thanks to Ray and Lori Stengel for all of their support and help with the boat, truck, and trailer. Freeze Frame Video would like to say that we really enjoy covering Team Thoroughbred. We think that the Team Thoroughbred Racing team is a great team. Does a great job. There it is, Pantera Racing on the inside, being passed by Thoroughbred on the outside. You're allowed to do that in the speed zone as long as you don't go over 60 miles per hour. Now, some of the sponsors include CMS Mechanical Service Company, Florida's largest statewide commercial air conditioning and refrigeration contractors. Also would like to thank Texaco, Taco Bell, Allied Tires, Woolworths Corporation, Eckerd Drugs, M. Ralph Associates, and all their employees providing quality service to Florida's #1 companies. There's Frank's Marine, Pantera Racing, and Team Thoroughbred there on the outside. Other sponsors include Thoroughbred Powerboats. Also like to thank Steve Stepp for all of his support and help in building a super competitive offshore powerboat. Also special thanks to Mastery Engine Center, 14 Carat Offshore, and H&H Speed Shop in Cocoa, Florida. Bob Bull now with Team Thoroughbred picking up speed as we leave the speed zone. A government cut. 827, Team Thoroughbred with Bob Bull and Scott Lee looking overhead here. Nice shot from our helicopter. Team Thoroughbred getting the job done. We're on board Frank's Marine now. Frank's Marine with Team Thoroughbred on the left-hand side. As we go around the turn, As we go on the turn, there is Team Thoroughbred there on the left-hand side, right behind. And Pantera Racing is on the right. Let's ride along a little bit with Frank's Marine. Pantera Racing coming up on the right-hand side. Team Thoroughbred on the left. Pantera Racing. Right on the heels of Frank's Marine. Our helicopter there in the background. Biscayne helicopters. A14 Team Hogsbreath, a 26-foot Corsa powered by one 650 horsepower United inboard engine with a Mercruiser drive. Driver Todd Greger from Key West, Florida. Throttleman Lee Murray also from Key West. A14 Team Hogsbreath took a first place in Sarasota earlier this year, a second in Jacksonville, currently first in the APBA national point standings. There's Subluxator up ahead in first place, and of course Hogsbreath in second place, first and second. Team Hogsbreath also is second currently in the Prop Series for this year in this 1995 racing season. Team Hogsbreath would like to thank their sponsor, Hogsbreath Saloon out of Key West, Florida. Fine saloon in Key West. For all its support during the racing season. Team Hogsbreath, a 26-foot Corsa. Doug Greger and Lee Murray aboard. A14. 18 boats in all in Offshore A. Hogsbreath right up there, right behind Subluxator. Right now in second place. Right now, the Corsas are doing very fine here in A-Class. Of course, we've got Team Hogsbreath. Subluxator is a Corsa, and Power Play in third place. A Power Play. Of course, we had three Corsas coming in first, second, and third in Sarasota earlier this year. So it's a battle for first place. Subluxator and Team Hogsbreath, first and second right now. Team Hogsbreath trying to reel in Subluxator. Going around the turn, we see Subluxator and Team Hogsbreath. Not that much distance between these two Corsas. Nice throttling job there, Lee Murray out of Key West, Florida. Of course, the Hogsbreath motto is that Hogsbreath is better than no breath at all. Your leader in A-Class is A46 Subluxator. Holding off Hogsbreath is a 26-foot Corsa powered by one 750 horsepower Chevy Progressive inboard. The driver, Scott Mander. Throttleman, Greg Lohman. Navigator, Ron Lohman. Of course, Greg is the owner throttleman of Subluxator. Scott Mander, the owner-operator of Intense Marine. Some of the other boats that Intense Marine rigs and maintains are OPBRA Special, also Intense, a 32-foot Midnight, Taz Motorsports, and Scatterbrain. Subluxator, A46, your leader right now in A-Class. 26-foot Corsa. Subluxator took a second place in Sarasota earlier this year. There you see some of the Miami Beach skyline in the background. This, the 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami. Fourth national APBA race of the 1995 racing season. Scott, Greg, and Ron doing a fine job aboard Subluxator. This boat is rigged and maintained by Intense Marine, your home for all your inboard as well as outboard pleasure as well as racing boat needs. Subluxator, 26-foot Corsa. Of course, Intense Marine owned and operated by Mr. Scott Mander, the driver today aboard Subluxator. Now, we don't know if this crew will need any adjustments after this race, but if they do, of course, Dr. Greg Lohman, the owner, Throttle Man, can surely take care of that. He is the owner-operator of Lohman Chiropractic Life Center in Naples, Florida. Lohman Chiropractic Life Center. Dr. Greg Lohman. Top of the pack in A-Class, A68 Power Play. It's a 28-foot Power Play powered by one 700-horsepower exact performance inboard with a MerCruiser drive. Driver Hank Kleber from Pompano, Florida. Throttleman Pat Sullivan, also from Pompano, Florida. Power Play took a first place in Fort Myers earlier this year. Is currently in first place in the Prop Series, second in the APBA National Point Standings. Now, the engine is built by Exact Performance and Performance Marine of Pompano Beach. Both built by Dan Weinstein of Power Play Boats in Fort Lauderdale. Power Plays are doing very well today. Of course, here, Power Plays on top of the pack in A and B class. We've got Toucan Power Play, and also Mr. K doing quite well there at top of the pack, first and second a few moments ago. A68 Power Play is rigged and race prepped by Performance Marine in Pompano Beach. A68 Power Play, Hank Kleber and Pat Sullivan aboard. Another Power Play sponsor includes Rickman Construction out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Also special thanks to Ramada Resort Duval in South Beach for the accommodations. As far as we're concerned, if you're running in the top 5 of perhaps nearly 20 boats in A-Class, well, you're doing quite fine here right now. That's what Power Play is doing right here in the top of the pack. A68, highly competitive offshore A. Miami skyline there. Beautiful day here in Miami Beach. Calm waters and just picture perfect day here in Florida. Power Play now slowing down a bit going into the speed zone of Government Cut, but no problems. As we said, there's a 60-mile-per-hour speed limit in Government Cut that the Coast Guard has instituted for this race, but once they leave the cut, they can pick up their speed once again. S9 Cutting Edge, a 30-foot motion powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. The driver, Alan Butler from Corpus Christi, Texas. Throttleman Gary Ballou from Boca Raton, Florida. S9 Cutting Edge took a second place earlier this year in St. Cloud. He's currently in the third place in the Prop Series and third in the APBA National Point Standings, but is your APBA Stock Class World Champion for 1994. Cutting Edge S9 currently in second place in S-Class. Other competitors in S include Locomotion, Outcast, Cobra, Vision Video, Bermuda, and 7-Up the Uncola. Cutting Edge in second place in S-Class. The Cutting Edge Racing Team would like to give a special thanks to Larry Butler, the crew chief, and Alan Butler, the owner-driver, would like to give thanks to his kids, Sue, Jennifer, and Benjamin, for their support. S9 Cutting Edge. .30-foot motion right up there in second in S, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. There they are. Owner-driver Alan Butler from Corpus Christi, Throttleman Gary Ballou from Boca Raton. Looking downfield, there's Everglades Executioner, and they're now coming up closer. B29, Everglades Executioner, a 33-foot fountain, powered by two 600-horsepower Carolina inboards with MerCruiser drive. The driver, Timothy Foster from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Throttleman Glenn Martin, also from Fort Lauderdale. Everglades Executioner, third place in Fort Myers earlier this year. Fourth in Sarasota, fourth in Jacksonville. Currently is third in the APBA National Point Standings. The team would like to give special thanks to Tress Martin and everyone else over at Everglades Marine. Everglades Executioner V29. Other competitors in Offshore B include Finney Racing, Miscalculations, Mr. K, Southwest Securities, Intense Toucan, Triton, and Heartbeat. Going around the turn now, it's Everglades Execute. Oh, having some problems there, rocking and rolling, but in control. No problems at all. V29. Timothy Foster and Glenn Martin. An all Fort Lauderdale team there. Back on track, this 33-foot fountain. Some of the Miami Beach skyline there in the background. Of course, this is a Southeast Divisional race, a National APBA race, as well as a Prop Series race here, and also an Oprah Gold Cup Series race here in Miami Beach. Your 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami, and it is presented by Cutting Edge Sports Marketing. Carolina inboards doing their job. Everglades Executioner, top of the pack in B class. As we see the wake of Dan Donzie. There's Dan Donzie in A class on the outside. Everglades now going by Dan Donzie, making its way. B29, Everglades Executioner. Tim Foster, Glenn Martin from Fort Lauderdale. There's Locomotion on the inside, Dan Donzie on the outside, top of the pack in S. It's S14 Locomotion, 30-foot motion, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. The driver, Raul Ramos from Miami, Florida. Throttleman, Alex Ramos from Hialeah Gardens. It's S14 Locomotion, top of the pack in S. Currently in fourth place in the Prop Series, fourth in the APBA National Standings. Locomotion Racing Team would like to thank Ed Shear over at Motion Powerboats. Right now, S14 Locomotion right up there. Other competitors in S include Cutting Edge, Outcast, Cobra, Vision Video Bermuda, and 7-Up the Uncola. Right now, 7-Up the Uncola, the leader in S, but Locomotion right up there, top of the pack in S-Class, S14. This is the 1995 Offshore Grand Prix of Miami at South Beach and Government Cut, as Locomotion is now approaching Government Cut. And with a good finish here, Locomotion could certainly move up in the APBA and Prop Series point standings. Locomotion, Raul and Alex Ramos doing a fine job aboard this 30-footer, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. Fourth national race for the APBA. Miami in the background. We've had great racing in Fort Myers, Sarasota, Jacksonville, and now here in South Beach, the fourth national race for APBA. Highly competitive. Locomotion now slowing down as it enters Government Cut. Remember that speed limit, 60 miles per hour. Boats have to slow down. They can pick it up once they begin to leave Government Cut. And there's Harris Megabucks leaving Government Cut, followed by Heartbeat, Finney Racing, Toucan Power Play, and Mobile One. There's Locomotion, slowing down, going inside the cut, approaching the turn. 30-foot motion, Raul and Alex Ramos. As we said, the Coast Guard closed down Government Cut, especially for this race, so we only have a certain amount of time to finish. Only until 3:30 this afternoon. And of course, we have an afternoon race as well. There's another motion, another 30-footer Outcast S71, powered by two 200-horsepower Mercury outboards. Aboard Outcast, we got driver Mikey Dalio. He's from Miami, Florida. Throttleman Art Laszlo, also from Miami. Jose Laszlo, he is the owner and driver of record. He's from Miami, Florida. Outcast S71, now leaving Government Cut. First time that government cut has been closed. Actually, it has not been closed since 1986. It is not the first time, but very good of the Coast Guard to do that for this race here in Miami Beach, Florida. Outcast currently in 4th place in S-Class, S71. As you can see, the waters here off of Miami Beach fairly calm, making for exciting racing. Beautiful day here. Little overcast. Here's Intense, the only triple engine outboard running in